looked away for a second, but when I turned back, the stairs behind us were gone, just smooth, unbroken concrete where the exit used to be. That's when we realized the classroom wasn't just a display. This happened when I was in the 8th grade, during a field trip to the Hartwell Museum of History and Culture. It's one of those old, echoey places with marble floors, a weird smell like dust and iron, and security guards who don't smile. Our teacher, Mr. Landry, was the overly enthusiastic type, the kind who tries to make colonial furniture exciting. Most of us tuned him out by the first hour. The air changed, too thicker, colder. The museum upstairs was chilly, sure, but this felt wrong, like the air didn't move at all. Jess actually rubbed her arms and said, "Feels like a freezer in here." My friends Ryan, Jess, and I were already planning to break off from the group. Not to cause trouble, we just wanted to explore. We'd heard from a high schooler on the bus ride that the museum had a closed-off basement filled with old exhibits no longer open to the public. We ducked into a roped-off corridor near the staff elevators and headed down a short flight of stairs. We had Auntie's seen on the official map. "That's my handwriting," she whispered. Landry written neatly at the front desk, in his looping cursive style. It looked like a classroom. Not an old one, either not. Some 60s diorama. It looked exactly like ours back at school. Same green chalkboard, same window arrangement, same desks in the same rows. Mine had that little chip on the corner where I'd jammed it with a metal ruler. Jessa still had the sticker residue from when Shidi tried to decorate it with stars. Every scratch, every dent was exact. Apparently, a few years back, a kid went missing during a tour, and they shut it down. The story had that too specific tube EFOC energy. No seams, no hinges, nothing. Jess tried banging on the walls, shouting, even though we hadn't heard another voice in almost 20 minutes. I walked to the chalkboard and ran my hand across it. There was writing there now. It hadn't been there before. Around 1 p.m., just after the Revolutionary War section, we slipped away when the group stopped to watch some dated educational video. The lights flickered as we descended. At the bottom of the steps was a big steel door. No keypad, no handle, just slightly ajar. The one at the wall, not the one in the desk. None of us said anything. We just looked at each other and stepped inside, her expression blank, like she was in a trance. But the real Jess was still by the wall, pounding her fists and sobbing. The room beyond was huge, dim with overhead lights that buzzed faintly and swayed slightly, though there was no breeze. At first, we thought it was a replica, maybe some interactive exhibit about school life. But then Ryan froze. He was staring at one of the desks. There was a name tag on it. The next his desk was occupied by him, but not him. I was in the lobby, just outside the gift shop, alone. His eyes were open, but unfocused. His head tilted slightly, like a puppet someone had dropped into place. Not Mr. Landry, not the school, not their families. It's like they never existed. Their names weren't on the permission slips, not in the yearbook, not even in my texts. My phone history was wiped clean except for a blurry photo I don't remember taking. I ran to the front desk and threw the chair aside. The lights flickered violently, humming louder than before. The chalkboard changed again. It said Jessica McCall. Jess leaned over and stared at it. We started checking the other desks. Ryan Porter, Derek Langley, and somehow even worse, Mr. The desks weren't just label day, were worn the way ours were. She went limp in my arms for a second. That's when Ryan said, Okay, joke's over. Who did this? But none of us laughed. Jess turned to leave. I followed, and that's when I noticed. The door we came through was gone. Just a smooth concrete wall.
Ryan started pacing, mumbling about hidden doors or museum illusions.
Take your seats. I stepped back. Jess said my name, but not from behind me. Her voice came from the front of the room. I spun around. There she was, Jess, sitting at her desk, completely still. Then Ryan disappeared. Just gone. We hadn't even blinked. 1 second, he was there. Jess screamed. I ran to her, pulled her back, but her body jerked and sat down in her seat. No expression, no reaction. And then I was alone. I didn't sit. I wouldn't. Class in session. I don't remember falling, but I must have blacked out because the next thing I knew, I was being shaken awake by a security guard. It was 4:30. The trip was over. Only problem was, no one remembered Jess or Ryan. It's of the classroom. Same desks, same board. Only this time, there are 4 name tags. The last one reads, Derek Langley, absent. And sometimes, late at night, when I close my eyes, I see the chalkboard light up again, and I hear the words, take your seat,